Sue, thank you so much for your comment. And yes, wow, there's a lot to learn in here. You know, we have to understand that the narcissist's reason for attaching to another person is not what you think. It is not about attachment. It is about separation, individuation. So they come into a relationship with the intent to separate away from you. And this is because of their field object relations in their early infantile life. So the unconscious patterns that we're seeing are imprints. They're pre-verbal. They This is why they don't know what's going on. So the going inwards, all the things, all the sort of primary primitive ego defenses that caused them to go inwards and into denial and internalize the bad and idealize the mum was done out of safety. And that meant that they had to create this fictional sense of mother inside of them to survive, to have that self resilience to keep going. And if they hadn't idealized their external mother, their real mother, well, that means annihilation. So we can't think as a baby that our mother is bad because of if the baby thinks mum's bad, they think they're bad, and then everybody's going to die. So they have to idealize the parent, take the bad in, and then depending on who they are as a human being, and this is where genetics may come in, their innate sense of aggression as to who they are as an innate human will sort of determine whether they're going to be more likely to create that false self and go down the path of narcissism or maybe BPD or some other personality disorder. Probably not psychopathy, because that seems to be purely genetic. Um, but yeah, whenever we understand that this is about them needing to merge internally with an external object in order to create that safe enough sense of self, for them then to leave you as their mother, so they have that good enough sense of self inside of them. We have to think too, Winnicott's good enough object. You know, Klein and Fairbairn were very different than Freud and some of the other people, because they realised that we were object seeking. We weren't desire seeking. And this means that we have a sense of family and community, and a sense of love and attachment, um, and that then means that our need to separate, individuate away takes another. It takes another, and it takes two to become one. Basically, Dr. Alan Shore will talk about this in his right brain growth across the lifespan. Go watch it on, like, it's fucking fascinating. It'll blow your mind away. Lynn recommended it to me, and it's one of the most informative things I've ever watched in all my life. And when we understand that, we understand the principle of it takes two to become one. And the narcissist never had two to become one. So they're constantly searching in this repetitive compulsion, to find another object to merge to separate from. And this is why we keep getting this repeating dynamic of them just going through relationship and relationship. But unfortunately, these types of people have very bad traits, which tend to be incredibly sadistic and manipulative and Machiavellian, and incredibly devious and impulsive, and will act out in a certain way. But then it's hard for us to conceptualize that, how that can be somebody's parent or how that fits into a family. And those dynamics, by the way, in the family work exactly the same way. Trust me. I'm from a narcissistic family unit. It's exactly the same. If you don't conform to the supply demand from the narcissist parent, you will be in trouble with the enabling parent, and then you'll have consequences and blah blah blah. And it's regardless of what position. It doesn't matter whether you're golden child or scapegoat or lost child. It just doesn't matter. It's all about the proclivity to not identify with the bad object, because the bad object in their life was too much. So facing it it isn't allowed, and this is why you keep getting this unconscious pattern of repetitively passing shame on to other people, because the bad object in their life was just too much. So that inability to identify with the bad object is really, really critical in narcissistic abuse, and that's self-concept. And it's critical for all of us. For all of us, it's so critical to understand our own self-concept, because most of us walk about like with our internal abuser beating the shit out of us, and we really need to stop that, because it's not us. It's not our fucking voices. There's somebody else's. There's somebody else's voices, and this is what narcissistic abuse does to people. It puts persecutory interjects into people's bodies, and they sort of take a lot longer to work through. You know, you've just got to think of your own internal abusers you have with your superego, and you know your hypercritical superego that you have. You know, it's very very hard to quieten these things down, and I definitely think post narcissistic abuse, you know, we have been left in that object relations failure state. We're being abandoned by our mother, which was our narcissistic partner, because it's a dual mothership, you know, and then in turn we've lost a child, and we feel the pain of that. We feel the pain of that in an extreme amount. I hope that helps, and thank you very much for your comment. And guys, go follow Sue. She is amazing. I cannot recommend Sue's page highly enough. One of the most informative, intelligent, wisdom-laden ladies that you'll come across on this platform. Okay, loads of love. All the best. Bye.